Apart from the heavy rainfalls that most of the country experienced over the weekend, the residents we spoke with in Carmelita village also blamed the flooding on poor drainage and an elevated Phillip Goldson Highway.
It looked like a little bit of something like the drains and need for clean out because 29 years I live here and not no happen like that. But this, when they do this road there, so I think they need to move the dirt right this one because if they don't move that, maybe that away cause make the water come.
The culvert here is too small. And I think the amount of water that was coming, it couldn't come through fast enough, and it just keep getting higher and higher, and it just, I guess, it saturates the ground because of the pressure and everything else, and the fence fall.
Do you think the highway have anything to do with it?
I do believe the height of the highway caused the water to run down, and then maybe the drains are not clean enough, and I definitely know this culvert is too small that is here, because I watch it, and the water can't come through fast enough, so the water just keep rising.
These are issues that Victor Polanco, the chairman of Carmelita Village, says were raised with the contractors who recently rehabilitated that portion of the highway which runs through the village.
First of all, it makes me very sad, to know that something like this would have happened, and it happened just rapidly. This, from what I've heard from the other villagers, that this had never happened before. A lot of was a lot of water coming down, so people were not expecting it.
There are people that are saying that the highway is a contributing factor to the flooding because of its elevated level.
It's something that I think we have addressed it before. We even had a public meeting when the people in charge of doing the highway were here, and I knew that the people, our villagers, were requesting for better drainage. So I think that's something that can really be looked on. Better drainage close to the highway.
When our news team arrived at the NEMO headquarters in Orange Walk town this morning, Juan Leiva, NEMO's district coordinator in Orange Walk, was preparing to deploy 3 teams into some of the most affected areas to conduct assessments. Selena Sanchez was dealing with logistics in Carmelita village.
We have noticed that their complete kitchen is destroyed. We saw one in the case that their groceries was destroyed. So our first initial would be to provide them with lunch or some. We have the Baptist Church here in Orange Walk that has called the NEMO office to provide some food. So that is the first step we're going to do for this morning.
Other areas in Orange Walk district that were affected by Sunday's flooding included San Jose, San Pablo, Santa Marta, Trial Farm, and some of the main streets in the town itself. Juan Leiva and his team at NEMO have been on the ground over the last 24 hours.
We did assessment. We had 3 teams out, and based on our assessment, we decided that it would be prudent to open 2 shelters, one at Carmelita and one at San Jose Government School.
Okay, so this is unprecedented, like you've said. How much of it do you think is climate change, and how much do you think is poor civil upkeep of drainage?
I wouldn't say poor upkeep of the drainage. I think the town council in town is doing a good job. But it is more of the people who are not civic-minded anymore. We have lost that civic pride where we decide, I'm walking, I'm eating something, I throw it on the street. And 1, 2, 3 persons throwing things on the street, it accumulates, and that is what causes the drains to clog. In terms of climate change, I think that has a big part of it because we're seeing things that we have never seen before.
All indications are that a slow-moving tropical wave will continue to affect the country. This will continue to support very wet conditions through to midweek. Leiva says his team is prepared to open additional shelters.
Based on the assessments that will be done, when the people come in, when the team comes in, we're going to set up a plan. Which we did like yesterday. We did one, we decided that we needed 2 shelters open. In this case, if we notice that we might need more shelters open, then that will happen.
Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.